WrestleMania 41 Night 2 was one of the worst endings in WrestleMania history. There is no doubt about that. I'm not saying it's the worst, but it is definitely not the best. And because of how bad it was, WWE needed to come out swinging on Raw after Mania. They needed to have one of their biggest shows in a very long time, to be completely honest with you, because they needed to wash out the bad taste that they left in our mouths the night before. We saw returns, we saw heel turns, we saw title changes, but what we have been talking about the most over the last few days is the new group being formed by Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. So as we know, at night one of WrestleMania, Paul Heyman turned on both CM Punk and Roman to join Seth on Monday Night Raw. Bron Breakker came out to seemingly join this new stable with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. And the question that has been on everyone's mind over the last few days is, are there more members going to be added? And that is why I am here today. I asked you guys on Twitter who you believe should be added as the third, fourth members of the group if more members were added. I picked the best ones, the most popular answers. So we're going to jump into it, talk about who could be joining this new evolution, authority type group, whatever you want to call it. Let's jump into it. Like, subscribe, turn on those notification bells so when these videos and other daily wrestling content comes out, you can watch them as soon as they drop. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and let's go over who you think should be in this new group. Drew McIntyre and Becky Lynch. One, because Becky Lynch is married to Seth Rollins, and two, Drew McIntyre hates CM Punk and Roman Reigns. So Drew McIntyre, Becky Lynch were two of the most popular responses I got from you guys. Becky Lynch makes so much sense here because, yes, like you mentioned, she is married to Seth Rollins. They even have a child together, believe it or not. But Becky Lynch just returned and also just turned heel a night after returning, winning the tag team championships, and then she did decide to turn on her partner. I don't know that decision. I don't really understand. Becky Lynch, though, joining this new group, people have been, thinking of whether it should be an all-male group, add women to the group. We don't know what the direction of this group is. Is this going to be Paul Heyman leading a faction of full-time superstars that compete weekly? Could it be a group that it's Seth Rollins as the leader, like a Triple H Evolution Authority thing, and you bring in younger people? We don't really know what direction we're going down. It also could be, it literally just could be Seth and Bron Breakker, but it also could be a group of like 5 other people added. So we don't really know the direction we're going down. Becky Lynch, if a woman were to be added, I think out of anyone possible, she might make the most sense. The only thing is if we're going for the whole younger group thing, Becky Lynch might not fit that mold because she is a vet. Obviously, Becky Lynch is established. She is a Hall of Famer. She is a legend. So in that case, she might not be added. But if a woman were to be added and there's no like age thing going on here or like veteran younger status, I think Becky Lynch makes the most sense. And as far as Drew McIntyre goes, I'm actually going to disagree with this one. A lot of people have been saying Drew. I don't think he should be added, especially if it's just because he hates CM Punk and Roman Reigns. I think Drew McIntyre he's Drew McIntyre. I don't think him being added to the group will, not that it won't do anything. I think him being in that group, like prominent storyline, is what Paul Heyman, that's great. But Drew McIntyre is his own guy. I don't know. Like, if he's in a group like that, I imagine him being like a leader, not a sidekick to Seth Rollins. Not saying he would be. I think Drew McIntyre is fine on his own. I don't think him hating Punk and Roman Reigns is justified enough for him to join the group. At this point, who the fuck knows what WWE is going to do? Personally, I like leaning towards the younger side where we're going to bring in some younger guys and not someone like Drew. I would go Ethan Page and Jordan Grace. I love the idea of having a female talent involved. Jordan Grace actually may have been the one superstar that I wasn't thinking of, but when I saw this tweet and a few other people mentioned her, I was just like, whoa. I don't know how I didn't think of that before. That is a great idea. Jordan Grace is someone that she's in NXT right now. She has had a match for the NXT championship. She shouldn't be in NXT for too long. It's Jordan Grace. She's incredible. Her next to Paul Heyman in that group would be fucking unreal. I'd say strap the rocket to her back. That's not even the case here. She would be immediately, she would be a megastar off rip. As soon as she shows up, she will 1000% be presented as the top female star. I'd be down for that because she belongs on the main roster. I don't want to say she's too good for NXT, but she definitely is good enough to be on the main roster. Ethan Page, I said the same thing when he showed up to NXT. I get it. You want to get fans familiar with who he is in NXT. But he's main roster ready. I think Ethan Page could fit into this group well, especially if you're trying to build up or create a next top heel, because I think Ethan Page has that in him. He's a great talker, he's a great worker, and if you want to take a mid-card type of talent and really elevate them to the next level, I think Ethan Page I think he's a good candidate for that. If they wanted to add some serious heat to the stable, a rogue, albeit very outside pick could be Logan Paul. The worry, of course, would be his long-term availability to the storyline, as he still appears to be part-time with WWE. I actually don't think that's the worry. I think it would be the fans absolutely turning on and rejecting this group if that was the case. I like the idea of Logan Paul. The idea of it, because he's a top heel, the fans would absolutely hate it and stuff like that. So for heel heat, sure, but I think it would be the wrong heel heat, and I don't. He fits the mold, young guy and everything, but I would prefer him to stay as far away from this new group as possible. Theory, he is wasting away in whatever he is doing now. If he joins this group, he will be destined for big things. Here we are, Austin Theory. This one I am all for. If we're going for the young side, and I don't want to be repetitive and say that's what I want, but that is kind of how I'm viewing this group. Seth Rollins being the older veteran, but still in his prime, like Triple H and Evolution. Bron Breakker, who in my opinion, is the Batista of Evolution 2.0. There have been some people that have been saying he's actually the Randy Orton, and they were wondering who the Batista could be, not the Randy Orton. I view Bron as the Batista, and Theory could be that Randy Orton. He's so talented, and I really think he gets a bad rep because of how poorly he's been booked on his time on the main roster. I mean, his whole thing with Vince McMahon, I mean, that basically buried him and almost ruined him. He was pushed way too soon. He was shoved down people's throats, very similar to Roman Reigns back in the mid-2010s. Theory has a lot there. He has a lot of potential. He's great in the ring. He is phenomenal in the ring. If you go back and you watch his NXT days, you actually watch matches where he's able to deliver and be himself. He is incredible. He's unbelievable. He's great on the mic. He's been with A-Town Down Under, Grayson Waller for so long. Split them up. I mean, I don't know why they're still together. If SmackDown tomorrow, if something happens like an angle where they split up or whatever, you can bet your ass that Austin Theory is going to be added to this group. Theory is probably the most perfect candidate, to be honest with you, if you want to add more younger guys. Will it happen? I don't know. Theory has been struggling the last few years, but if you want to build him back up and put him on that level where we feel that he should be, this is how you do it. Definitely Mello. If he's filling the Orton slot, it works because at the time, Orton was the younger, newer guy that had made an impact quickly. He had the swagger, arrogance, etc. I believe Mello could easily fill that spot. Plus, with the right team, Mello could easily be a main event player. That's what you get for having him paired with Bron and Seth. Sticking with the younger guys and guys that could fill that Orton slot, like you said, Carmelo Hayes. We all wonder what the hell WWE is doing with him. Since he's been on the main roster, he's just kind of been I don't know. He hasn't been winning. He's got some wins and stuff. Had a great, I'd say 7-match series, but 6-match series against Andrade. He just won the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial, so that's something. But then you look at someone like Bron Breakker, who we came up with. And Bron Breakker, 2-time IC champ. Now he's in this prominent group. I think Carmelo should also be a part of this prominent group. Austin Theory and Carmelo Hayes, I know we have a few other guys that we're going to be going over here, but those two guys are probably my top option for at least male superstars to be added. We don't know how many other people are going to be added. Again, because it's Seth and Bron. Is Paul Heyman going to be the Ric Flair of Evolution? We're also throwing around Evolution. It could not even be close to comparison to them. A lot of questions of how many people are going to be added, groups, ages, whatever it may be. Carmelo Hayes, whether we're going for ages or not, should be a top candidate because, again, we're talking about what Bron Breakker's done on the main roster, how much he's been pushed, and we look at Carmelo. Carmelo Hayes should be much more up the ladder than where he is now, and if you want to move him up, God, putting him in this group would do wonders, and it would be so good. Again, Bron Breakker as Batista, Carmelo as Randy Orton, that's money. Honestly, I'd say Karrion Kross would be my final addition. After his amazing promo a few days ago, I could see him using Paul Heyman's influence to better his career, and he could really benefit from this mashup because I believe the fans would like to see more Karrion Kross. The fans do want to see more Karrion Kross because he is incredible. That promo that you talked about after WrestleMania, money. Let this guy cook. Bring Killer Kross back. I don't know if he fits in this group, just like his character. and what it seems like this evolution, I keep throwing evolution out, but what this new group is going about, what their mission is, whatever. I don't know if Cross would fit that. Cross should get more TV time, and I am looking forward to more prominent stories involving him being involved, him and AJ potentially having a new story now. I don't know if I see him in this group. I don't know if this is for him, but at the same time, if he does show up and attack someone in a black hoodie like Bron Breakker, I'm not going to be too upset about it. I wouldn't be too upset about it. I think I would just put others ahead of him to be in this group. I would want to form a new Dangerous Alliance type group. So Becky Lynch easily slides into that badass gal, and then another duo, New Day, might just be ready to be Paul Heyman, guys. I'll be honest with you. I think this may have been the only person to mention the New Day. They hate the New Day. The fans hate the New Day, and them being a part of this group will just elevate that hatred. I just have a hard time seeing their fit and like why they would join this group, because at this point they're veterans. Obviously they're 12-time tag team champions, which is absurd. I feel like there could be another team that benefits from being in this position more than the New Day. Thought of a heel New Day being in this group is interesting, but I don't know if I'd push for it. Fraxium feels like the obvious choice, and I would love to see them instantly be at the top of the main roster when the Raw tag team division could desperately need them. This is what I'm talking about, baby. This is the tag team that I think could be added if that is the direction we go down. Fraxium, as we all know, composed of Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Nathan Frazier is Seth Rollins 2.0. This guy is legitimately Seth Rollins' clone. Think of Seth Rollins back in like 2012, 2013, 2014, pre-ACL injuries, before all these meniscus knee injuries. That is Nathan Frazier. He is a motherfucking beast. Axiom is also a motherfucking beast. Fraxium together are motherfucking beasts. They just lost the NXT championships. I'd imagine they are going to get called up because they're the best tag team in WWE, and they've done everything in NXT. Bringing them up to the main roster, having them debut with this group would be fucking sick. I'm curious, though, if I mentioned Nathan Frazier being so close to Seth, I wonder if it would be like a thing where to bring more heat onto the group and Nathan Frazier, having Frazier turn on Axiom before settling into the group and stuff. Maybe it's he turns on him, then joins the group, or they're both joining, he attacks Axiom. I think I'd pick the first option. I think that might be a little bit better for Axiom. Either way, whether it's both of them or just Nathan Frazier, I think that is a fantastic choice to join this group. I'm having Drew McIntyre and Bayley added to this group. For all the time Seth and Drew have been at each other's throats, the respect between them has always been there, and I'd pick Bayley because with her being the most overlooked out of the 4 horsewomen, she can use this as a way to get in a better position for herself and make people have to respect her. We talked about Drew already, so we'll skip over that part. Bayley, though, so we're talking about Becky Lynch being added, like a veteran woman, and then potentially like a veteran woman and then a younger generation woman or something. We'll get to a few options in a minute. But Bayley being added over someone like Becky Lynch, I get it. Becky Lynch is the easy option because she's married to Seth, of course. But Becky doesn't need it. Becky doesn't need to be in a group like this, as cool as it would be. She doesn't need it. After this past weekend, Bayley deserves the run of a lifetime because I don't know who was in charge of putting her into the match, taking her out, whatever, but fuck that person because Bayley did not deserve to go through that. That was so stupid. A way to reward her is adding her to this group, and I don't think she's ever truly been presented as the top superstar, the top female on the roster. Let her be just that in this group if she's added. I think Bayley being added is a nice twist. I think Paul Heyman will make it work. Him and Bayley would be awesome together. Bianca Belair, I feel like we're at a place where we haven't been able to see a faction with a dominant woman in it before, so she would be one of the most perfect additions considering her name and just the directions you can go with a potential heel turn for her. I think a heel turn is on the horizon for Bianca Belair. I don't think it will be joining a group like this. I don't know how she would slide into this group because she also has stories going on with Naomi and Jade. She has her hands full right now. Bianca is unbelievably talented and is one of the most dominant, if not the most dominant woman on the roster. I think she's too good to be in this group, to be honest with you. I think it would benefit someone else more that could actually, elevate from being in here. I don't think Bianca elevates herself too much from being a part of this. So that's the biggest reason why I'd say I would say no to her being in this group. Give me Austin Theory and either Shayna or Lola. It's about time the real Queen of Spades comes back. People tend to forget how dominant she was. Shayna Baszler, I think, actually fits this so well. I think her character, dominant character, being brought back in this group could be legit, and I think her and Paul Heyman would be awesome together. But Shayna Baszler is 44 years old. I don't know if Shayna fits the timeline with this group, whatever the timeline may be. And also, Shayna really has been out of it for so long. Like, no one's been talking about Shayna Baszler for years. She's been stuck in tag team division. She hasn't been taken as a serious threat since the pandemic, since 2020 when she got brought up to the main roster. The idea is there. I kind of can get behind it, but I do not see this happening. Carmelo Hayes, he could really benefit from being in a group faction at this caliber. Roxanne Perez, Roxanne being in this faction would be great. The first Paul Heyman girl, it would give her a great push and she can finally go up to the main roster. When I was talking earlier about there being other people that would benefit more from being in this group, Roxanne is an example of that. Roxanne, I think, would be money in this group. The whole Paul Heyman girl thing, I get behind. I don't think she would be the first one. I think there have been other Paul Heyman girls in the past, but Roxanne Perez, because Roxanne is in this super weird spot where she's in NXT, but she's on the main roster, but she's still in NXT and competing for NXT championships, but she's also the Iron Woman in a Royal Rumble match and coming in second place. It is so confusing, but her being in this group is obviously a sign that she is going nowhere, that she is officially on the main roster. That's how it should be anyways. But Roxanne Perez, I think, would be the perfect fit, would be the perfect younger superstar to be added to this group. Like, we're talking about the Theories, the Carmelos, but if we want to think about the women and the younger generation, Roxanne Perez fits this group. I don't know how she would debut in the group, how it would happen, but I would be unbelievably hyped if I saw her show up with Paul Heyman. Montez Ford. If Montez Ford was not in a tag team and also the current tag team champions, I think I'd get behind this. It's a weird situation where we all want him to go on a solo run. He had a little bit of an opportunity years ago, crushed it, and then nothing came out of it. Also, there are reports that Montez Ford wants to stay with Angelo Dawkins and doesn't want to be, as a solo star, which, if that's the case, there's nothing we can do about that. But if Montez Ford had been built up as a single star and WWE seemed to have wanted to push him and were going to push him as a single star, I'm all for it. But where he is now, his situation, I don't see it happening. The most interesting move for me would be adding Becky in a younger star in the women's division. Probably Julia, and then we have both sides of the stable dominate both divisions. Ultimately with Heyman pulling the strings, but Breakker Julia under the wings of Seth and Becky. Another reason why Becky is a great choice to be a part of this group is she could be like the Seth, where Seth is Bron and Becky has her superstar. That would actually be pretty cool, to be honest with you. Julia showed up on Raw this past week. Out of the blue, there was a whole thing. There was a segment going on with Stephanie, Io, and then Julia and Roxanne showed up. I feel like people kind of brushed past Julia showing up. Rhea showed up. It was a lot going on. Seems Julia's on the main roster. I mean, it could be a Roxanne situation where she's on both. But if Julia is getting pushed, if she's going to be on the main roster, I think her and Roxanne, as far as like NXT, younger generation woman being added, those two, I don't know if there's better options than those two. Maybe Jordan Grace, but those three, I think, would be my top choices for a female superstar, a younger female superstar being added. Karrion Kross. Seems Becky Lynch might also make sense after Monday. I also noticed in hindsight, Finn Balor wore black and yellow at Mania and not Judgment Day colors. Monday night, Rollins and Heyman were wearing yellow as well. Foreshadowing. Personally, I like the idea of him going back to being a solo superstar after leaving the Judgment Day or getting kicked out, because that's eventually what's going to happen. But if he has to join another group, this one I'd be okay with, because Finn Balor is one of the best. He still is one of the best wrestlers in the world. As much as he has been watered down and just been, again, given the shit end of the stick the last few years, he is still Finn Balor. And honestly, it's just going to take a snap of a finger to get him back to being the top guy or one of the top guys. I think being added to this group would do just that for him. Last one, make it diabolical. I want Cena and Becky. If you want, tie it in with Travis Scott and The Rock. I want all of them. The greatest faction of all time, corporate Cena. Jake, fuck off. No, absolutely not. The Rock and John Cena and Travis Scott, the three best friends that anyone could have, go away. Go sit in the corner, fucking play with yourselves, have a good time, sip some tea, have some I don't know what the fuck you guys like to do in your free time. I don't want The Rock's fingerprints on anything involving this. I want him as far away from Seth, Bron, and Paul. He was complimenting the story and everything on the Pat McAfee show. Fantastic. Let's keep it at that. Keep your soul snatching bullshit to yourself. Travis Scott, I don't know. No. Get Cena, Travis Scott, and The Rock away from this group. They needed to do this to wash the sour taste of the ending of WrestleMania 2 out of our mouths. Do not put the two together. For the love of God, Triple H, you have something so good here. Do not fuck it up. This would be the biggest fuck up of all time if you added Cena, The Rock, and Travis Scott, and I would lose my mind. And there you have it, guys. Those are 20 superstars that could potentially join this new stable involving Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, Paul Heyman. We don't know what to expect here. We don't know what to expect out of new members, if there are new members, if it's going to be other men, if it's going to be other women, how it's going to play out. Is it going to be like a younger generation evolution type thing? Is it going to be an authority? Who knows? Is Paul Heyman going to step back in the ring? We're going to have to find out. But until then, thank you guys for watching this. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, notification bells. Like I mentioned earlier, I will have daily wrestling content out daily. So make sure you don't miss that. I appreciate you guys again. Hope you have a great rest of the day. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.